Have you ever found yourself wondering, is walking really enough to keep my heart strong? Or worse, have you felt that even a short walk leaves your joints aching, your legs exhausted, and your motivation crushed before you even begin? If so, you're not alone. For millions of people, the age of 65, staying active isn't as simple as taking a stroll around the block. Joint pain, limited mobility, and chronic fatigue can turn even the most well-meaning advice. Just walk more into a frustrating and discouraging experience. But what if I told you that walking doesn't have to be your only option? In fact, it might not even be the best one. Today, we're about to explore 5 low impact, expert recommended alternatives to walking gentle, effective movements you can do from the comfort of your chair, your living room, or even while watching TV. These aren't just exercises, they're lifelines. They're simple science backed actions that can spark better circulation, energize your body, and restore the confidence that aging hasn't taken everything from you. So, if you're ready to reclaim control over your heart health without risking your knees or exhausting your body, stick with me until the very end. This video might just shift the way you think about aging movement and what's still possible for you. But before we begin, I'd truly appreciate it if you gave this video a like. It helps this message reach more people who need it. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. If you enjoy this content, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0 so I know what to improve. Your feedback truly matters. Now let's get into it. 1. Seated leg pumps. Our first movement may seem almost too simple to be effective, but don't let appearances deceive you. The seated leg pump is one of the most powerful yet overlooked tools for improving heart health and circulation, especially for those who find walking difficult, painful, or just not sustainable. At first glance, it might look like you're just lifting your heels and toes while sitting down, but in reality, you're activating what cardiologists often refer to as the second heart, your calf muscles. Yes, you heard that right. Your calves play a major role in your heart health. Every time you flex those muscles, they squeeze the veins in your lower legs, pushing blood back up toward your heart. This action is vital. Without it, blood can pool in your legs, leading to cold feet, swelling in your ankles, or even dangerous blood clots like deep vein thrombosis. For many older adults who spend extended periods sitting, whether in a recliner, on a long car ride, or waiting for appointments, this kind of gentle leg movement can make all the difference. When blood flow stagnates, the heart has to work overtime. But with the seated leg pump, you give your heart a helping hand. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, back straight and well supported. Gently lift your heels while keeping your toes grounded. Pause for a moment, you'll feel your calves contract. Then slowly lower your heels and raise your toes, engaging the muscles at the front of your shins. Repeat this rhythm, heels up, toes up. Move slowly, deliberately. No need to rush. Do 10 to 20 repetitions or simply set a timer for 1 or 2 minutes. You can do this while reading, watching your favorite show, or waiting for the kettle to boil. No equipment, no gym, not even shoes. Just you, your chair, and your willingness to move. You might be thinking, how can such a tiny movement make such a big difference? And that's the beauty of it. This isn't about burning calories or pushing through pain. It's about restoring something far more important: circulation, energy, and the sense that you're still in control. For many seniors, especially those living with chronic conditions, the idea of exercise can feel overwhelming. The thought of a treadmill or lifting weights might be intimidating or downright impossible. But the seated leg pump tears down those barriers. It's small, it's gentle, and it works. And here's where it gets real: movement is medicine, especially when done consistently. Every seated pump you do is like telling your heart, I've got your back. Let me tell you about Ronald. He's 78 lives alone in a small apartment, and like many, he was told by his doctor to get more exercise. But with dizziness, fatigue, and a fear of falling, that advice only made him feel defeated. He hadn't walked more than a few steps at a time in months. Then, during a routine visit, a kind physical therapist introduced him to the seated leg pump. At first, Ronald was skeptical. This little movement is going to help me. But he gave it a try. 20 repetitions every hour while watching his favorite westerns. No pressure, No expectations, just gentle effort. 2 weeks later, the changes were undeniable. The swelling in his ankles had eased. His feet weren't as cold. He felt lighter, stronger, more alert, and most importantly, more hopeful. I feel like I'm finally part of my own recovery, Ronald told me. I'm not just waiting for things to get worse, I'm doing something. That's the real magic of this movement. It's not flashy. It won't go viral on social media. But for someone like Ronald, and maybe someone like you, it can be the spark that turns things around. Think of the seated leg pump as your daily heartbeat check in. It reminds your body that blood needs to move, that your legs still serve you, and that age is not the end of vitality, it's the beginning of a new way of living with intention. Over time, this small action can reduce the workload on your heart, improve lower body circulation, minimize the risk of blood clots, keep your ankles from swelling, and restore a sense of personal power. So the next time you're sipping your morning coffee or watching the evening news, let your legs join in. Add a minute or two of seated leg pumps. Let that be your quiet act of rebellion against stagnation. Because aging isn't about giving up. It's about adapting and finding new ways to show up for yourself every single day. If seated leg pumps reminded you that even the smallest movements can make a massive difference, then you're going to love what comes next. Let's take that same energy and shift it just slightly upward. 2. Wall push-ups. When you hear the word push-up, what comes to mind? Maybe it's a young athlete at a gym grunting through a tough workout or a drill sergeant shouting orders. For many, push-ups seem like something from another lifetime, too intense, too intimidating, and far too demanding for aging bodies. But what if we flip that image completely? Wall push-ups are the kinder, gentler cousin of the classic push-up. No floor, no weights, no sweat-drenched gym session. Just you, a wall, and a willingness to try. This simple, low-impact movement is specifically designed for older adults and anyone with limited mobility. And yet, despite how gentle it feels, wall push-ups can work absolute wonders for your heart, your circulation, and your sense of strength from the inside out. You don't need to drop to the floor or even break a sweat. What you will need is a sturdy wall, a few quiet moments, and the decision to lean in literally. Here's where the magic happens. Wall push-ups activate multiple upper body muscle groups at once, your chest, shoulders, arms, and even your core. These areas are often neglected as we age, especially if walking is the only regular exercise in your routine. But these muscles do more than just help you carry groceries or reach the top shelf. They play a key role in circulation, especially in the upper body, where blood flow tends to slow and posture can deteriorate with age. When these muscles engage, they assist the heart by pushing oxygen-rich blood throughout your body and helping it return efficiently from your extremities. That rhythmic pressure and release the gentle pushing motion does more than build strength. It supports lung capacity too, by engaging the diaphragm and intercostals, the very muscles that help you breathe deeply and fully. With each slow push, you're reminding your lungs to expand, your ribs to stretch, and your breath to deepen. It's like giving your entire upper body a soft, activating wake-up call. And here's one of the best parts. Unlike traditional push-ups that strain your wrists, shoulders, or lower back, wall push-ups are fully supported by your body's own weight. You control how far you lean. You decide how much to bend. You set the pace. It's empowering, and that sense of control is something too many older adults have been told they no longer have. Ready to give it a try? Stand, facing a sturdy wall about 2 to 3 feet away, depending on your strength and comfort level. Place your palms flat on the wall at shoulder height, fingers pointing upward, hands just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Your feet should stay flat on the floor, hip width apart, with a soft bend in your knees, never locked. Keep your spine long, your core gently engaged, and your shoulders relaxed. Now slowly bend your elbows, guiding your chest toward the wall in a smooth, controlled motion. Don't rush. As your chest nears the wall, pause for a breath. Then push yourself back to your starting position. That's one repetition. Aim for 8 to 12 reps per set, and don't be afraid to start small. Even 3 or 4 reps is a victory if it's new to you. Build up gradually, day by day, with your own comfort as your guide. The beauty of this movement lies in its flexibility. Want to make it easier? Step closer to the wall. Want to challenge yourself a little more? Take a small step back. Each variation lets you fine-tune the intensity. no equipment needed. Let's take a moment to talk about what's happening beneath the surface. For many older adults, physical limitations often carry emotional weight. There's the anxiety about falling, the sadness of not being able to move like you used to, the lingering regret over the time lost to illness or injury. That kind of heaviness, it settles in the chest. But here's the thing, wall push-ups offer a subtle form of emotional release. As you press forward into the wall and breathe through the movement, you might notice something deeper happening. Your chest opens, your breath lengthens, your shoulders soften. The tension starts to dissolve. And in that quiet, gentle act, there's healing. Intentional movement tells your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm present, I'm still strong. You may even begin to feel lighter, not just in your body, but in your spirit. That's the power of this kind of mindful activity. It's not just fitness, it's a reconnection with yourself. Let me introduce you to Margaret. She's 82 years old, a retired school teacher, and a proud grandmother of 5. A few years ago, Margaret had a nasty fall that shook her confidence. Since then, she avoided most forms of exercise, afraid that any movement might lead to another accident. Her doctor kept encouraging her to stay active, to build back her strength. But she hesitated. The gym, too overwhelming. Group classes, too risky. Everything just felt too much. That is until a friend casually mentioned wall push-ups, something she could try in the safety of her own kitchen near the counter for extra support. Margaret gave it a go. Just 5 push-ups right after her morning tea. She expected soreness, discomfort, and maybe even embarrassment. But what she got was something else entirely. After a few days, her arms started to feel stronger. Her breathing came easier. She stood a little taller when she walked down her hallway. Most importantly, she felt proud again. I thought my body was too old to do anything like this, she told me with a soft smile. But it turns out it was just waiting for me to say yes. Now, wall push-ups are her morning ritual right between brushing her teeth and feeding the cat. And every time she places her hands against that kitchen wall, she reminds herself that she's still capable, still resilient, still in the game. Wall push-ups won't turn you into a bodybuilder. That's not the point. But what they will do is build strength in the places that matter, your chest, your breath, your belief in yourself. They remind you that strength doesn't have to look like lifting heavy weights or running marathons. Sometimes strength is simply the choice to move gently, purposefully, and consistently. So if you're still watching this video and finding these lessons helpful, go ahead and comment the number 1 below. It lets me know you're still here with me and that you're invested in reclaiming your health one gentle push at a time. Now let's keep going. Up next is another seated favorite that could change the way your legs feel after just a few minutes. Seated leg lifts. Stay with me. Your heart and your body will thank you. 3. Seated leg lifts. Your legs carry you through life, but with age, many people start to feel like their legs are turning against them, becoming heavy, sluggish, or prone to swelling. It's a frustrating reality for so many older adults. But what if there were a simple way to reverse that trend without needing to stand, walk, or even change out of your slippers? Welcome to the power of seated leg lifts. An exercise so deceptively simple that many overlook its extraordinary benefits. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Seated leg lifts activate some of the largest and most important muscles in your body, the quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and hips. These muscles are essential for circulation, stamina, and mobility. When these large muscles contract, even in a seated position, they trigger a pumping action that helps return blood from your legs back toward your heart. Why does this matter? Because as we age, the body becomes less efficient at moving blood upward against gravity. The result: swollen ankles, cold feet, and sometimes even dangerous complications like blood clots or deep vein thrombosis. But by gently engaging these muscles, seated leg lifts reduce the burden on your heart, improve blood flow, and help relieve that heavy, tired feeling that often settles into the lower limbs after prolonged sitting. Getting started is simple, and that's the beauty of it. Sit upright in a sturdy chair, preferably one with a backrest for support. Keep your spine tall, shoulders relaxed, and feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart. Rest your hands lightly on the sides of the chair for balance. Now lift one leg slowly, either straight or slightly bent at the knee, until it's a few inches off the ground. Hold it there for a second or two, enough to feel the muscles in your thigh and hip gently engage. Then lower the leg back down with control. Switch to the other leg, repeating the motion in a smooth, rhythmic pattern. Alternate left and right, lifting and lowering in a steady flow. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions per leg, or simply continue the movement for a minute or two. The key here isn't speed or force, it's consistency and control. You can even time it with your breath inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. That simple rhythm can help calm your mind while energizing your body. If you're just beginning, don't be discouraged if it feels challenging. Go slow. Even lifting a few times a day can start to bring results. The physical benefits are clear: better circulation, improved muscle tone, reduced swelling and fatigue. But seated leg lifts also offer something much deeper, something emotional, even spiritual. Each time you lift your leg, you send a quiet but powerful message to your brain: I'm still in control. That may sound small, but for older adults living with illness, injury, or limited mobility, that feeling of control can be life-changing. Losing physical ability often leads to a silent erosion of confidence. And with that comes anxiety, sadness, even a creeping sense of helplessness. Seated leg lifts push back against that. They are an act of defiance, not against aging, but against the idea that aging means giving up. In a world where everything seems to move faster and faster, these quiet movements become moments of mindfulness and intention. They're proof that your health journey doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. In fact, this kind of repetitive, focused movement has been shown to calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and support mental clarity. The motion becomes meditative, the routine becomes a ritual, and slowly that ritual starts to reshape your mindset. Let me tell you about George. George is 79 years old, a quiet, soft-spoken retiree who spent decades working with his hands as a craftsman. 5 years ago, he lost his wife, and since then, his days had become mostly sedentary. He'd wake up, settle into his recliner, watch the news, and only get up to prepare meals or answer the door. Physically, his legs ached. Emotionally, he felt stuck, like the world had moved on and left him behind. Then one day, a neighbor dropped by with a simple suggestion. "Why don't you try lifting your legs during the commercials?" George chuckled at first. What's that going to do? But something about the simplicity made it hard to ignore. So he gave it a try. Every time a commercial came on, and he'd lift one leg, then the other. That small commitment became a habit. And within a few weeks, George began to notice changes. His legs didn't feel so heavy, his knees felt more stable. His energy picked up, and most of all, something inside him shifted. I didn't feel like I was just waiting for the day to end anymore, he told me. I felt like I was doing something for myself again. That 1 minute of movement, repeated throughout the day, brought back a sense of momentum, of participation, of pride. Seated leg lifts don't ask for much. No fancy equipment, no travel, no risk of falling. Just your body, your chair, and a choice to move. Over time, these quiet movements can improve your circulation, lower your resting heart rate, and help your muscles stay strong enough to support the activities you love. Whether that's tending to your garden, playing with your grandkids, or simply walking to the mailbox with confidence. And perhaps most importantly, they teach you that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It whispers, I still care about my body. It whispers, I still have the power to change. It whispers, I'm still here and I'm still trying. So as you sit in your favorite chair today, consider giving your legs the attention they deserve. Lift, hold, lower, repeat. It may not feel like much in the moment, but the ripple effects could surprise you. And if you're still watching and getting value from these exercises, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. I'm right here with you every step, every lift, every breath. Up next, we'll shift our focus to something even smaller, your hands, and reveal why they hold a secret key to heart health that most people overlook. Don't miss it. Let's keep going. 4. Hand grip squeezes. What if one of the most powerful tools for protecting your heart wasn't a machine or a medication, but something already right at your fingertips? Yes, literally. It's your grip. The simple, often overlooked act of squeezing your hand with intention holds a surprising power. It may look unassuming, even a little boring, but don't underestimate it. In just a few minutes a day, hand grip exercises can quietly strengthen your heart, improve circulation, and help lower your blood pressure, all without you ever needing to stand up. You won't break a sweat. There are no dramatic motions or flashy movements. In fact, you may barely notice the effort, But make no mistake, the science behind this humble movement is astonishing. Here's what's really happening when you do a hand grip squeeze. With every squeeze and release, you're stimulating the small arteries and blood vessels in your hands, wrists, and forearms. This triggers what researchers call a vascular response, a wave of healthy activity that travels through your cardiovascular system. One of the most important outcomes of this response is the reduction of systolic blood pressure, the pressure your heart uses to push blood through your arteries. Why is that important? Because high blood pressure is a silent threat. You can feel perfectly fine on the outside, yet your heart might be working twice as hard on the inside, straining to keep your blood moving. Over time, this invisible effort can lead to fatigue, shortness of breath, dizziness, or even more serious complications like stroke or heart failure. Hand grip training, when done regularly, gives your heart a chance to rest, to reset. And the best part, anyone can do it. Did you know that grip strength is closely tied to longevity? Multiple studies have found a strong connection between grip strength and overall life expectancy. In fact, many researchers and doctors now view grip strength as a key indicator of total body health, not just the strength of your hands. Why? Because grip strength reflects your neuromuscular system's health, your coordination balance, and even mental sharpness. As grip strength declines, so often does mobility, independence, and confidence. But here's the good news: you can reverse that trend. You can maintain and even rebuild your grip strength with a simple object like a tennis ball, a soft resistance ring, or a handheld grip trainer. And with every squeeze, you're not just exercising your hand, you're sending a message to your entire nervous system. I'm still strong. I still have control. Let me introduce you to Ellen. Ellen is 83, a retired nurse who now spends her mornings at a local senior center sipping tea and sharing stories with friends. One day I noticed a bright yellow stress ball in her purse. I assumed it was for stress relief, but when I asked, she smiled and said, "Oh no, this little guy's for my heart." She had learned from her doctor that hand grip exercises could help lower her blood pressure. So she developed a habit: 3 squeezes every time she sat down and 3 more when she stood up. "That's my rule," she said proudly. "It keeps me grounded." Over time, Ellen noticed that she had more energy, not just in her hands, but in her whole body. Tasks that used to leave her breathless, like walking to the corner store or gardening for a few minutes, no longer felt overwhelming. "I used to feel like my heart was racing, even when I wasn't moving," she told me. "But now it feels calmer. It's like we're working together again." That small daily act of squeezing became her ritual, her quiet, confident way of taking control. To try this for yourself, you only need a soft object that fits comfortably in your hand. A tennis ball, a small foam ball, or even a balled-up sock can work. Sit comfortably in a chair, relax your shoulders, and place your object in one hand. Squeeze it slowly, firmly, but not painfully. Hold the squeeze for about 5 seconds, then gently release. Repeat this motion 8 to 10 times per hand, alternating sides. You can do this while talking on the phone, watching TV, or sitting by the window with your morning tea. If you're just starting out, aim for 1 set per day and build from there. The key isn't intensity, it's consistency. Beyond the physical gains, there's something deeply emotional about grip training. When you feel like your world is shrinking, when routines get harder, when the body begins to resist, it's easy to feel like life is slipping from your grasp. But here's where hand grip squeezes give you something powerful, a tangible action you can control. In a season of life when so much feels like letting go of speed, letting go of certainty, letting go of strength, this is something you can hold on to. Literally. That small act of choosing to squeeze, to engage, to participate, that's a declaration. A quiet one, perhaps, but profound. It says, I'm not done yet. It says, this body still belongs to me. It says, my heart is still worth protecting. So as you sit right now, maybe holding your phone, maybe resting your hands in your lap, why not give it a try? Pick up something soft, give it a few gentle squeezes, and notice how your body responds. No gym, no machines, no complex routines, just you right here, reclaiming your strength in the most humble way. And if you're still with me and these insights have been helpful, go ahead and drop a 4 in the comments. Let me know you're still here, still learning, still choosing vitality. We've got one final movement to explore, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. It's the seated leg raise, a small lift with big rewards for your heart and your future. Let's keep going. After discovering how much strength lies in something as small as a squeeze, it's time to return our focus to the legs, those silent supporters that carry us, stabilize us, and reflect our inner vitality. This next move may look simple, but its impact goes deep. 5. Seated leg raises. When we think about heart health or staying fit, our minds often jump to dynamic, high energy activities running, swimming, brisk walking. But for many seniors, especially those over 70, these forms of exercise can feel out of reach. Maybe it's because of joint pain fatigue or the natural slowing that comes with age. But what if you could improve your circulation, strengthen your legs, and support your heart without ever leaving your chair? Enter the seated leg raise. This quiet, low effort exercise delivers powerful results. It proves that you don't have to run marathons or climb stairs to care for your body. Sometimes the most meaningful change begins with a single steady lift of the leg. Let's break it down. When you sit for long periods, something most older adults do far more often than they'd like, blood tends to pool in the lower legs. Your body has to work harder to move that blood upward back to your heart. Over time, this added strain can lead to swelling blood clots or elevated blood pressure. That's where seated leg raises come in. By engaging the quadriceps, the large muscles at the front of your thighs, you create a natural pumping motion. This action helps push blood upward, reducing venous pressure and giving your heart a helping hand. But the benefits don't stop at circulation. Stronger quads translate to greater balance, mobility, and independence. These muscles play a central role in everyday tasks like standing up from a chair, walking to the kitchen, or stepping over a curb. The stronger they are, the more secure you feel in your body. And when you feel stable in your body, your confidence rises too. You'll love how easy this is. Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, spine tall and back supported. Place your hands on the armrests or at your sides for stability. Slowly lift one leg straight out in front of you. Keep it as straight as you can without locking the knee. Hold it in the air for a few seconds. You'll feel your thigh engage, maybe even tremble a little. That's a good sign. Then gently lower it back down. Now switch legs. Alternate legs lifting and lowering with control. No need to rush. Try for 10 to 15 repetitions per leg, or simply continue for 1 to 2 minutes at a comfortable pace. Start slow. Build over time. Even just a few reps a day can create momentum. Let me tell you about Harold. At 78, Harold had always been active until a minor stroke left him feeling unsteady and unsure. The confidence he once had vanished. Just walking to his mailbox became a daunting task. His doctor recommended light exercise, but most of the suggestions felt too overwhelming, until someone introduced him to seated leg raises. At first, Harold dismissed the idea. How could just lifting my leg do anything, he said? But he decided to try lifting one leg at a time during commercial breaks on TV. Within weeks, things began to shift. He noticed less swelling in his feet. His legs felt lighter. And walking short distances didn't drain him the way it used to. But the real transformation wasn't just physical. I didn't feel useless anymore, Harold told me. I felt like I was doing something for myself again. That emotional lift feeling, engaged, capable, and in control, is just as valuable as the physical gains. Seated leg raises offer far more than toned thighs. They provide empowerment, a sense that you can still influence your health no matter your age or condition. When your legs grow stronger, your ability to stand, walk, and live more independently also improves. And with that independence comes a renewed sense of freedom, of dignity, of joy. The beauty of this movement is its adaptability. You don't need any equipment, a big space, or a lot of time. Just a chair, your breath, and a few moments of focused effort. You can do this while waiting for the kettle to boil, chatting on the phone, or even listening to music. It's not about pushing hard. It's about showing up consistently. Over time, these small, intentional movements ripple outward. They reduce discomfort. They lift your spirits. They reshape how you see yourself, not as someone fading, but as someone still blooming. So here we are. You've now learned 5 simple, powerful movements you can do right from your home to support your heart, boost your energy, and reclaim your confidence. Seated leg pumps, 2. Wall push-ups, 3. Seated leg lifts, 4. Hand grip squeezes, 5. Seated leg raises. Each one may look modest, but together they can transform how you feel, how you move, and how you live. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do them all at once. Just begin. Pick one. Try it today. Let that small choice open the door to a new chapter of strength, hope, and health. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which exercise are you most excited to try? Is it the wall push-up, the leg lift, maybe the hand grip squeeze with that stress ball sitting in your drawer? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're taking away from today's video. Your thoughts don't just inspire me, they inspire others in this beautiful community we're building together. And if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps more seniors like you discover simple, meaningful ways to stay strong and vibrant at any age. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, no movement is too small when it comes to loving and caring for your body. We'll see you in the next video.